did it. Thanks, the internet. As we prepare for map number 2. It's going to be another Beyond the Game map choice. We're heading to Dragonshire. I would also like to just point out how absurd it is for BTG to bring up Sky Temple versus TheOne. It's their stomping ground. It's their usual go-to. But now, though, we are heading to Dragonshire. A little bit of a smaller map for them.
Quite honestly, after seeing Beyond the Game perform so well in that first game, as you said, on the home turf of TheOne, I'm going to call it here right now. I think Beyond the Game is going to the Eastern Clash. Like, I think they played this so well, not only in terms of team fighting, and let's face it, TheOne for the longest time had actually been the region's strongest team fighting team next to SBT, right? So beating them not only on their home turf, but also, you know, in terms of raw team fighting and clashing, means a lot of how Beyond the Game has grown as a team over the last few months.
So who do you think is going to... Who is your lineup currently as it stands for Eastern Clash from China?
All right, I'm going to go bold here, and I'm going to say I don't think CE is going to make it. I think Beyond the Game, SBT, and TheOne are going to make it.
Okay.
Maybe KT, but I have to see more of KT. One more game of KT to make up my mind, but I think right now it's Beyond the Game, SBT, and TheOne.
I think because I don't think KT are going to make it through in first. I think it's going to be SBT through in first. I also do think BTG are going to do it, assuming TheOne is not able to re-step back up, which we know they can, but we have to give them a little bit of time to see if they can. And then I think when it comes to playoff performance, that seems like the kind of scenario that KT will thrive in, so I also think they're going.
Yeah. You think KT is going to make it?
Yeah.
All right.
It's playoffs that are going to decide it.
Yeah.
And can you think of a better team that can perform in that kind of volatile environment than KT?
Oh, I totally see your point. I totally see your point. And who wouldn't want to see Timeless, you know, at an international tournament? I think it's actually going to be his first time if he's going to make it.
It will be. It will certainly be, which is pretty cool. For now, though, we are into the draft, pretty deep in as well, but we're seeing some very standard picks. This time, though, it's BTG bringing out the Phoenix, and again, another high priority on solo laners, but this time it's from BTG, and it's going to be the Dahaka. This is a really solid hero for the map. Rotations on this map to the shrines to pick up Dragon Knights are absolutely huge, and basically everywhere has a bush. Every single lane has great rotation points for Dahaka.
Yeah, of course, Dahaka could be a very good call here, or actually is a good call here for Beyond the Game. Now, in the past, we've seen, you know, enemy teams, when they face up a Dahaka, to maybe respond with another global, right? And that would normally be Falstead. I think yesterday in NA, we saw a Brightwing coming back. It actually won as well. It was pretty cool to see. But
I would not know. I was asleep because...
But I don't think China is ready for the Fairy Dragon just yet. So let's see what they're going to respond with.
What about the Granite Gaming composition?
Oh my god, the last one? In the last game, you mean?
Yeah.
It was glorious. And you know, the fact that Granite Gaming was able to win with it? Like, I talked to Raid Boss the other day when he was on my stream, and he was so happy that they actually won with it, and I told him, you know what? Now you're going to be the bane of the European HGC, because whenever you bust out those compositions, or even just one hero of that set composition, you're going to toy with your opponent's minds, right? Because if it hadn't won, everybody would have been like, yeah, they're just memeing. What? We don't have to fear that. We don't have to respect that. But now that it won, it can actually do so much damage to their opponent's minds.
Oh, yes. Do you want to, like, the funniest part of it for me was in the Crucible, the most feared hero from that Granite Gaming roster, which is a completely different roster, was Samuro.
Yeah.
Now it's a completely different roster, and there's still a fretful Samuro. So apparently Granite has just changed their logo to the Blade Master at this point.
Now, I don't know who's the drafting mastermind behind Granite Gaming, but I would assume it's Raid Boss. But he comes up with the wackiest of strategies and somehow makes them work, which was an absolute pleasure. Now, back to this game, though, we see the Johanna being locked in for Beyond the Game next to the Deckard. So Johanna Dahaka, that could potentially be a very, very stable front line that Beyond the Game doesn't really need to worry much about. And generally speaking, the more self-sustain your frontliners have, the more a support can actually help the backliners in need, right? So Dahaka has, of course, his Essence. The Johanna has her Iron Skin, and maybe Loss of Hope at level 1. So I think Deckard is going to have a much easier time to actually protect heroes like Phoenix, for example, from a Muradin onslaught once again.
I would agree. So, yeah, I kind of dig that, assuming that Phoenix doesn't run up next to walls, but even so, there's no Diablo this time, so it's less of a threat. Slows, though, we're kind of stuck on just Decade again. We got Phoenix with just 2 setups this time, so they gotta get something. What assassin? Ranged assassin can apply slow. Valor with frost shots. Jaina, but she's stolen just now, which is clever. Thrall could actually have done it. He's kind of ranged with the full lightning build, which is all the builds these days.
And I think, quite honestly, Tetra,
by TheOne.
That was probably one of the reasons why TheOne picked Thrall and Jaina, right? They wanted to limit the options of a Phoenix salvo to get that extra damage reliably. So right now, there's not a whole lot left that would make sense for Beyond the Game.
Like, I'm just going to go through all the slow potentials.
Right.
False Dad, Echo, Curse of Exhaustion, Gul'dan.
No.
Lunara, just
honestly, Tetra, you want to hear what I would pick here? Slowing Sans Chromie. But they go for the hammer.
Slow. Oh wait, that does have a slow.
Yeah.
The mines at level 1. Intriguing. You had my interest, BTG. Now you have my attention. This has no longer become a just pure setup purification salvo build. It has become a huge zoning build. This is... The bot lane should be absolutely devastated by this. This is going to be a nightmare because this is what KT did on this map. It's going to be Johanna, Hammer, Decade in the bot lane, Phoenix, who can solo lane very effectively in the mid lane with the Hacker in the top lane, who can rotate down anytime there's a gank attempt. Absolutely. In theory, this should absolutely devastate. However, I will say that I think TheOne's draft is better than the one when against this kind of style previously. It has decent dive, great poke potential. It might have a chance, and also Johanna can't block the majority of the poke, especially if you take the piercing frost bolts.
Yeah, I do agree with you in a way that, you know, TheOne's draft looks okay, but I don't think they expected the hammer, to be honest. And
no, I would agree.
And there is no blinds available right now, right? And that is already a super strong thing that speaks in favor of Beyond the Game. Also, I don't really see a lot of threatening potential if Hammer is getting played well. I mean, you could also say that, you know, CC is great against Hammer, but good Hammer players can actually turn themselves unstoppable in the nick of time to maybe dodge that one Muradin Stormbolt, that one Jaina Ring of Frost that could really turn around the tides of battle. And you know, for the longest period of time, Tetra, there was this infamous Terran duo, right? Morales and Sergeant Hammer. But I think right now, Decker Kane is actually the better Morales to keep her alive.
Yeah, you gotta lubricate those tank threads with healing potions because that can give you the maximum value as we are loading into game number 2 of our 2-game series. If BTG can take this with this hammer composition, this will be a solid 3 points for them. If TheOne can take it, it will be 1 point for each team. And on the left-hand side, 1-0 up, it is Beyond the Game with 619 on Johanna, LLK on Phoenix, Druid on Deckard Kane, Dancing on Sergeant Hammer, and 3 is playing the Hacker.
Facing them once again are TheOne in the reds with Hugo on Thrall this time. Muggle is playing the Hanzo, Meng is playing Jaina, Hihi on the Muradin, and Malfurion is getting played by ZJZ. Now, I can't remember the last time I saw Hugo on Thrall.
I'm going to interject quickly. I think Hugo should go in bot lane, and he should right now pick Crash Lightning. You're going to get 3 people basically consistently. You get value. No, he's gone for Echo. Okay.
No, he's going for Echo. Probably the safer choice overall, because he's definitely going to spend some time...
I don't think safe's what they want now. I don't think safe is the right choice at all here.
Yeah, it depends. I mean, he's going to definitely spend some time soloing against the Dahaka, so I can't blame him for that. Crash Lightning is still... You know, I love Crash Lightning, Tetra, by the way. I would love you to be correct here. I think it's a little underrated right now, although a lot of people are going to hate me for that. Good dodge by LLK here. Really getting himself out of harm's way. And Sergeant Hammer hasn't actually picked her level 1 talent yet.
Yeah,
She's probably still waiting.
Ambush? That's not ambush. That's the extra radius on the shot. So going for a full push build, which means when you go for this build, it means you have very low intentions of actually unsieging at any point. This is aggressive. Siege to Arsenal Synergy? No Arsenal Synergy here. So... Oh, well, he has the talent, but didn't actually use it. Yeah. But yeah, with that talent, it really means Hammer has so few intentions of actually unsieging often. If you're planning on unsieging, you get far more value with, out of ambush. This is better for actual pushing.
Yeah. Fully agree with you there. Now both teams are actually Muggle is helping a little bit, but of course he was still scouting. No major damage done here. He couldn't have interrupted the mercenary camp anyways. But I'm already interested in seeing how, like I want to see more Chinese Sergeant Hammer plays, right? Are they going to go for different builds? Already, as you said, we're going to see a little bit of a different route. Most of the other European and Korean Sergeant Hammer plays they like to go for ambush, as you pointed out, with that extra damage and the stealth potential. Now, let's see how much they can actually do with this Siege Giant camp at their side. Both both shrines used to be in the control of Beyond the Game here for a short period of time, but now the top one is back for the one.
Advanced artillery, and the almost 100% pick talent here is Siege Tactics for Sergeant Hammer.
Of course.
Yep. But regenerative biosteel. This is what I was afraid of. He's gone for the immensely old-fashioned push comp as Jaina gets absolutely wrecked. Phoenix should be able to escape here. Nice little micro, actually. Just going to devastate Hugo. Oh my god. As he forced to back up. But yeah, this is the, like I said before, the maximum split push build. This is Hammer wants to siege up and push a lane and very little else. This is not a team fight or area control Hammer build. This is a push Hammer build. Yeah. It's far riskier, but it has its uses.
Yeah, speaking of dancing here, he's going to have to face a Broccoli. He's safe for now. They might actually get Muggle because of a strong rotation by 3 on the Dahaka. That is the power of globals, ladies and gentlemen, right there. And I think with another kill against the one, there's nothing they can do to prevent this early Dragon. You can actually see Hugo in the top lane there trying to get the Shrine back in time. But keep in mind that the channeling time on that Shrine is much slower than the channeling and the activation time of the Dragon Knight. So you have to be there really quickly if you want to prevent the Dragon Knight from channeling all the way through. So, up to this point, Tetcher, the greedy Hammer build, going full siege mode, going full, you know, life leech. Is actually going for another one here for the hover siege mode, which is definitely going to help out.
Not graduating range. That would have been the maximum possible greed. Instead, it is hover siege. This is actually going to allow him at least a little bit of opportunity to dodge Jaina, dodge those skill shots, etc. This is fine. And also, it does actually mean he has to unsiege less, which is wonderful as always.
Good news.
So he's going to ping in those abilities. You can see him kiting back, shooting out the shots here. Nice little route, but there's no Jaina here or anyone to really capitalize on that. Well, no, she's here now, delivered via Dragon Knight, but a little bit too late.
So what are they going to do now? I don't think there's much they can do. Look at that. Hammer already using the thrusters to get herself out of harm's way. And 3 members of Beyond the Game are currently bullying out 4 members of the one. That is something you don't get to see all day, every day.
619, though, has bitten off far more than he can chew, trying to frontline and set up for dancing. He gets taken out here. Deckard Cain has yet to pick level 4. A little bit confused here. But either way, that is a nice little counter kill by the one. The Dragon Knight has expired, but a full fort was taken, and bot fort is still very wounded via this Hammer push.
All right, so here we go. What are we going to see for the Deckard Cain here at level 7? It normally should be the
Emeralds?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's the other option?
You can sometimes go for Kanai's cube, which would reduce the damage dealt by everybody hit by the cube.
Sounds dope.
Which has seen a little bit of play, but I think Emerald provides a lot of utility. I think what he's actually going to do, he's going to wait for Malfrion's heroic ability. And if he goes Tranquility, then the Emerald might actually be the weapon of choice. But if he goes Twilight Dream, maybe he's going to go for something different.
He's a full level ahead, though. Is he going to wait a full level?
That's for sure.
Heroic? Is that the plan?
I mean, keep in mind, as long as you don't pick your level 7 talent, you can't go for heroic yourself, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is he going to wait a full level before he picks his heroic? He's level 10 now. How patient can you actually be here?
They don't even need it.
Forward. I guess not. They've just killed Malfurion, so that's good. Who needs heroics as Deckard Cain as they begin to push forward, taking down another fort and then moving on to tier 2s.
All right, with the BFG coming in. Of course, that life of Malfurion was no longer a long one because he doesn't even have access to Ice Block yet, so no way for him to dodge any of that burst damage.
Or a tree, because people keep burning them down. As we see, Warcraft references, hurrah! As we see Meng just doing his absolute best to try and clean up these lanes, create some damage control in any of the lanes here. They have control at top, but 3 second people to move off this point. It's going to react. Okay, so there's Tranquility.
Tranquility.
Deckard.
Now, I'm pretty sure he's going to go Emerald now to stop the AoE healing and then probably stay a while and listen.
He might not have noticed yet.
Someone tell him that he still needs to pick 2 talents.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Emerald is there, 1 and listen. But Johanna once again picked off in the middle lane. And this is the thing. The 1 can get kills, even on the tankiest members, if they're able to get their engagement opportunities. But they're getting zoned so hard.
Yeah, that's exactly what they need, right? They need a good chain of CC abilities, ideally initiated by the Murd and then followed up by the Thrall. Here we see LK. He's a little too big there. Phoenix getting body blocked left and right by the Dwarf. And can they now get a follow-up kill onto Dancing, who's using everything to bully Hanzo out of this team fight?
ZJZ is not going to die, actually. Able to just absolutely juke 3, who is forced to back up. Cube lands on Malfurion with the anti-heal, but it's not so bad. ZJZ survives. They're able to get 1 kill for 0 here after killing off Phoenix. They continue to push forward. Root comes down. Sleep onto just Malfurion, but quickly interrupted by Hihi, who's dropped low. Nice choice of direction for the Dwarf Dogs. That will actually get him out alive. Never mind. And down goes Malfurion as well. Nice little pickup there by the tanky members. In the meantime, split push time, because they're losing everything else.
Yeah, I don't think that was too bad of an outcome here for the 1. Of course, they lost 2 members, don't get me wrong, but they made the best out of that situation. They maintained control over the top shrine for now, so no imminent Dragon Knight danger. And they also traded a fort for 2 members there as well, catching up a little bit of in XP, right? Because that structure was really all they needed, because I don't think they could have expected to actually get a hero kill here. Now look at that, the 2 brawlers, the 2 frontliners of Beyond the Game, they're not letting go, and they're taking out Hugo, denying all the healing value. Look at that beautiful CC chain. Bless Shield, then came the Isolation, and then the Blind, so Thrall couldn't heal from his basic attacks and the Wind Fury.
They did overlap those 2 heroics a little bit, but the drag from Dahaka was a really good follow-up, so that worked very well. See you, Deckard Cain. That's very nice here. In the meantime, the salvo, longest range, thanks to Dragon Knight Punch, and that is Dana will survive here. He in danger. Currently, it's a 1-for-1 with Buchanan Thrall kill up in the top lane as he leaps away. Phoenix going deep, doing his best Meg impression, but he will survive here. The BFG just missing here. Yeah, we are going to see the BTG pushing into the bottom lane here, but the fact is the 1, they're taking cheeky kills every now and again, and they're going to hit their level 13s.
Yeah, level 13 is going to be so crucial for them to, of course, deal with that Dragon Knight a little better. Look at Hihi. He is smelling his opportunity here to maybe go for another cheeky engage onto LLK. The CC lands, and there's nowhere left to run for Phoenix. I think they could have probably expected that. I'm not sure what it is with our Chinese Phoenix players today, but they like to certainly overcommit quite a bit here. Now, he's trying to basically reinitiate here after getting punted by the Dragon Knight. Goes for Druid, actually, instead of 619. A beautiful call.
So lovely. He delivered to such a forward position. He's able to get this lovely angle. Ring of Frost does not land, but it's enough for them to pick up 2 more kills and the 1. They are beginning to recover in a big way.
Yeah, and that was just masterful tanking play here by Hihi. Although Johanna was actually in a much more favorable position, you know, for his teammates to follow up on and to focus on. It is Johanna after all. It's still going to take a significantly longer time to actually kill her, if you actually are able to kill her, because you never know of that Iron Skin. So instead, he went for the Jaina, a low mobility target, a target that can normally not escape, and that is also very, very squishy. Sorry for the Deckard, my mistake. And they basically fought that so well. Beautiful target prioritization and beautiful execution there in the end.
Shots coming in to this middle wall, and they're able to take down 1 tower and the gate. Once again, the 1 finally, even on experience. It took them such a long time to get here, but this push period for the Sergeant Hammer has ended. The split push in the top lane gave them great recovery potential, and the 1 are starting to look pretty okay.
Yeah, and I think now some of the talent choices maybe for our Sergeant Hammer here in this game are probably going to start to kick in, right? Not having this unstoppable against all the CC that the 1 brings to the table, like the Muradin, like the Hanzo, like the Jaina. I think in those open team fights where you can't really, you know, bank on sieging up anymore because you already destroyed all the forts, you already destroyed some of the walls, I think it's going to be much harder for BTG to maintain that formation, you know, and to protect the Hammer, simply due to some of the talent choices they made in terms of, you know, neglecting protection and instead going for more greedy, sustaining talent choices.
So Phoenix, by the way, with a level 13, actually went for the rapid recharge, which makes sense. You're running with a Decade here, so he's going to get like a double-layered shield due to the shielding shielding potion, so he's going to get a shield back even quicker. This basically means when he's healed, he gets shield. He is spotted by the hammer mines, but it's hammer in the backline. Double stun on both the members. Beautiful blast shield and the isolation here on the same member, but they're still able to pick up the kill. Now Furion getting pulled in. We will see ZJZ getting... No, he's going to get out. Nicely done. The sleep buys him some time. Earthquake in setup here is not enough for any kills as Phoenix once again dropped low, is able to back up here. And that is a 2-for-1 in favor of BTG, who are out of there.
We're definitely out of there. I mean, actually, LLK finds some idle potions there on the ground. He's definitely going to pick those up with pleasure. But look at Hehe once again. He's that menace in the backline. The Siege Giant's actually stolen as well. And now it's once again the focus on Druid. Look how greedy he goes. Look how deeply he follows his teammates. I think, oh, this was actually a terrible position for him to use the stay a while and listen. He should have actually used that time to reposition himself, and beautiful last-second escape there by LLK prevents any worse outcome of that team fight. But I gotta give it to Druid. He really needs to step up his positioning, stay a little further away, try to go for safer, stay a while and listens, and keep your distance from Hehe in particular, who's just a menace to those squishy backliners of Beyond the Game up to this point.
Hehe and Hugo denying this Dragon Knight in time for the rest of the team to show up. Full 5 members in the middle lane for both teams here. Slight XP lead for the one. Even talents not even on level. That will be equal very quickly. He goes in. Yes, dodge this time. In comes the cube for the slow. Nice, quick Nature's Cleanse onto Hehe to stop him from being rooted. The isolation is dodged, but Hugo still gets distracted. He's still in trouble. Dragon Arrow, though, for the counter. The BFG not enough for the bursters. LLK is forced to back up a little bit here. Ring of Frost only on Sergeant Hammer, who does not have Siege Actors, getting focused down and blown up by the Jada from the side, who's looking for Druid as well. In the meantime, huge fight above the Dragon Knight happening as well as Druid drop low, sniped by Hanzo. As 619 taken out as well. Booyakasha! And that is mid lane going to be pushed in as Hanzo goes for bot and Verdict goes for top. A Dragon Knight shall be acquired by the one here.
Astounding accuracy here by Hanzo, landing almost every single skill shot in that team fight. And once again, it is LLK who needs to pull back and evacuate. And I think that has been the name of the game, Tetra, of those last 2-3 team fights. Hehe, the unsurpassable mountain here on that Murden. There's no tank shredding, with the exception of Sergeant Hammer now at level 16 in the Giant Killer. But you can't auto-attack if you're pressured all the time by that Murden. And sooner or later, one of those backliners ended up falling every single time. Phoenix in particular was absolutely taken out of that team fight. That was just such good cohesion and really, once again, focus fire by the one. They're landing their skill shots, they're having good calls and initiations, and Hehe, I gotta give it to him. He's actually one of the most threatening Murdens I've seen in China yet. With those angles, with those flanking dwarf tosses, such a menace.
Yeah, the only reason this fight went so well for the one is that, the only reason this fight didn't go as bad for BTG is there were some great jukes against Hehe, but even so, he was able to pick up some kills for his team here. As with all this backed XP in the form of these keeps still to take down, this might actually be level 20 acquired here with this Dragon Knight for the one as they begin to push forward. Nice damage onto 619. Big punt away onto Sergeant Hammer as well, who has to unsiege and make a way back over. Keep will go down here. This will not be a core attempt, be far too risky. This might be a kill attempt. Good knockback by Sergeant Hammer, keeping herself alive. Not much health left on the Dragon Knight. This Dragon Knight will expire here. This is just going to be a level 20 try and zone. It would be really risky for them to go for the core without any kind of kill here. So they're very happy to posture for it. Yeah. Prevent the enemy team from soaking to 20 and look for a kill. But they're struggling to find the angle here. And the longer they do this, the more the health bars of the ones seem to tick down.
He's an absolute madman on this Murd, and he just doesn't let go like a honey badger. He keeps reinitiating and trying to find an opening for his teammates to collapse on, and they really want to make it happen now rather than in a few minutes from now, right? Because they have that level 20 advantage still here. Now, can they do it? Dancing actually having that great range on the Sergeant Hammer to chip down any engages from the one here. Now, they still need to be careful. 19 is around the corner. That's still a one entire level to get those Stormtail talents themselves. One keep is down. As long as they don't fall here, I think they should be fine. As long as they stay in the game and catch up, they can still do it.
The damage comes in from the one, looking for yet another fort here. They actually stun Hammer. through the wall using that piercing storm bolt. In comes a BFG interrupted. Nicely done by TheOne. It does go on the 10-second cooldown though, so Salvo will be up soon.
Thatcher, do you think we're going to see the infinite BFG at level 20 for dancing, or do you think it's going to be a different talent, so. Like the ultra capacitors, for example?
I think the infinite BFG is kind of what they need right now. Take some pressure off of one of the lanes, put some counter pressure onto one of those structures, try and force TheOne to make a silly move and go too deep. Whereas the ultra capacitors, doesn't matter if you're the one being focused and blown up, you're just going to get yourself killed anyway because you're going to be too committed to autos.
That's the thing, right? How much of a power spike can Beyond the Game actually get at level 20 to maybe find their way back into this game? Because if you look at TheOne, they already have some pretty decent Storm tier talents, especially the Earthen Shields are going to be so useful to keep other squishy targets like the Malfurion, like the Jaina, like the Hanzo even alive. So I think in a straight up 5 versus 5 team fight, there's so much protection potential now on top of the increased improved tranquility here for TheOne. Look at that, level 20 is so close. Are they going to let that go through? Even the Blessed Shield is being used by 619.
Apparently, Blessed Shield can hit the Dragon statue. That's good to know. Ice Block dodging. The BFG does not land. In comes the salvo, though, into the sleep, but that just wakes everyone up. We might actually see Deckard live here. Good interrupt onto the Dwarf Toss, but now LLK in serious danger. Root from Thrall. The Bridge of Death is pretty hard to push into, and the rest of BTG able to pull back and escape. In the meantime, Dahaka is clearing bot lane, grabbing his team that level 20. Now Hammer should pick hyper capacitors because she's already used the BFG, so we can see that being picked up. The infinite potions for Deckard Cain. Hammer begins the siege. Hammer goes for a ride. She's out of the fight for a little bit here. Johanna, in the meantime, putting pressure onto the back line. The contagion comes out.
So good.
They get the quick kill on Jada.
So good. That was exactly the chaos and mayhem that they wanted to spread and that they needed to win a team fight and find a good target here. Now, once again, the Dragon Knight kicks away the Phoenix, tries to limit some of the damage that the chasing Beyond the Game can inflict on the members of TheOne here. But a big mistake, unfortunately, by Hanzo in the Dragon Knight, saving Deckard Cain with that Dragon's Punt Tetcher. If that one hadn't gone through, there would have been no support for Beyond the Game. That would have been a 100% guaranteed kill. And I think they might have actually been able to enforce a fight with a big advantage. But as it is, in true Hero League fashion, sometimes you kick away the target that you're actually supposed to kill. And TheOne, although they have the Dragon Knight, they cannot get another objective.
He takes a little bit of CC, but he's Muradin. He tanks through. Nice rewind, giving him that extra Dwarf Toss out as 3 was coming in with a great flank there. So many stuns and roots landing on 3 as well. He's tanking through it. You can see that nice little potion bar being set up there on that camp, which allowed them to stay there a little bit longer, but now they're forced to back up. Druid frontlining for his team. Muradin lands the stun. There's the sleep on just one member. The salvo from over the wall. Contagion is good, and Thrall dropped low. The Urban Shields keep him alive as Druid is dropped. Dancing gets onto the potions, though. He gets nothing as the Ring of Frostfall turn around. Jada is just blasting through the members of BTG. Just Johanna left. Ironskin forward to lane. The indestructible has already been used. 619's all alone. Goes down, and that is a full team wipe by TheOne.
And guess what? Bottom lane is naked there. There's no more keeps left defending it, and that is going to be an easy peasy lemon squeezy core call for TheOne. And Tetcher, I do have to question 2 things here. First of all, why do you look for a team fight in that location, right? This narrow choke point there next to the Siege Giant camp just means trouble for Jaina and Thrall, right? They're going to nail you down with that AoE damage. It's going to be so much easier for them to land their abilities there as well. And secondly, why did they even try to go for a fight at all? Couldn't they have just waited and took all those mercenary camps there? But that's just the classic China moves. You don't always have to understand them. You just have to go with it, you know, go with the flow.